Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one will be a little different. You guys asked for it, so I'm finally going to start introducing Xbox mods into my showcase, or just console in general. All of these mods featured in this video will be both for Xbox and PC, with the links down in the description. I'm sorry I can't vouch for PlayStation, Sony doesn't really like Bethesda, but with that being said, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button down below, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you're feeling generous today. Mainly for content in the future, and also to make me feel better. But as of right now, don't forget to endorse these mod authors if you end up downloading their mod, if you're on PC, and let's dive right in. Starting off with Magic category, we have the mod Lightning VFX Edit by KittyTail. Kitty just kinda released the Healing VFX. While amazing, I figured I'd revisit my favorite one considering that one isn't for console yet. This mod overhauls the lightning effect while casting and charging your spells, or even just having your shock spell equipped in your hand. Everything dealing with lightning has been overhauled, like you'll even see little particles floating from your hand as you start to walk or run towards enemies. I want to call this subtle, with it being the sort of mod you add and forget about in your mod list because of its simplicity and download size, but with the new magical effect added with just one small mod like this, you won't be removing this until something better comes along. And it won't be for a while. Lightning VFX Edit really doesn't have any requirements either, so it should be a plug and play for most people, if you know the basics of modding at least. Up next, I figured these two would pair perfectly. We have the mod Vibrant Weapons. This mod takes enchantments on weapons to a whole new level. The new Fire, Frost, and Shocked effect, added to all vanilla weapons, will have you completely hooked on this mod, like everyone else I show this to. These new effects apply automatically to every vanilla weapon with an enchantment when you add it to your mod list. But if you have a magical overhaul such as Mysticism that adds new flame or frost enchantments, it will need a separate patch unfortunately. The new enchantments, as you can see, are completely animated, and they also have their own ENB light effect that doesn't require the original ENB light, so they kind of glow in the dark when you're in a closed area. But unfortunately on console, the light version may not have that, but it will have all the rest of the animated effects. Aside from the vanilla effects of Fire, Frost, and Shock separately, if you have more than one enchantment for damage, you'll get a mix of what you chose, so you could see Fire with Lightning. The base mod is set for the player to be the only one having the effects, but upon launching your game you are given configuration spells that let you toggle it on for NPCs. I felt like it wouldn't be right if I didn't include a massive spell mod, and I figured why not do an underrated one not many use. And if you do play Skyrim and happen to love playing a mage, you'll definitely love this mod. This mod is Astral Magic 2 by KittyTail, which I was honestly surprised to even find on console. Astral Magic 2 is a magic pack that is based on vanilla spell levels, from novice all the way up to master level, featuring different levels of the same spell, and also unique ones that stay at the same level, either novice or all the way up to master, just like the vanilla ones. When you launch your game, these will automatically be put into the level list, so you don't have to search long before you start finding these on bandits or just random witches around Skyrim. And the spells, as you can see, aren't all just centered around damage, because that would be pretty boring. You'll find a number of utility spells that either siphon health from enemies and heal you, or allow you to place debuffs on enemies that will lead to you dealing more damage over time. So I guess overall they do some form of damage, but not outright. They're made to really go together, but you can mix and match what you use with this. Aside from bandits and witches, you can easily find these spell tomes on magic anomalies, or you could just go and buy them from Feralda, but it is random. And now taking a step into gameplay and immersive type mods territory, but starting off simple with this mod called Smart NPC Potions. This mod will allow all humanoid type enemies and allies in your game to apply potions or even poisons during combat, and also drink them to go invisible if they need to. Although mainly you'll definitely just see them using potions at low health due to the way that the script works, but you can also be poisoned by them now. This does have an add-on which applies animations to them, so at least you get some type of warning before you're poisoned, but that requires Nemesis, so it isn't available for console. You'll also be able to find potions in NPC inventories after you kill them, so no more relying on alchemy. But everything about this mod can be configured in the MCM. I turned it up to 95% just for testing reasons, but you can turn it all the way down to 0. You can also, for whatever reason, if you're crazy, give an NPC 15 potions, which means you'll probably never be able to kill them, especially if they have multiple enemies attacking you at once. And if you want to make your Skyrim bloodier, we have the mod Just Blood. This is the massive immersion mod, Dirt and Blood, stripped down to be just blood. So no soap to wash up, or NPCs commenting on how dirty you are. Just pure gore in combat. This mod is script based, and the way that it works is that depending on the character's current health, there will be blood effects placed on the character, and this applies to all NPCs and your character. If they heal using the previous mod, if you decided to grab it, the blood effect will also disappear, so it is completely dynamic. And if you have health bars turned off, it is a great way to tell that your enemy is close to dying. And because the blood effect is placed over armor based on a script, it will appear over pretty much everything. And as well as if you're naked, if you happen to take off your armor for whatever reason while you're low health. This next mod is for the dragons of Skyrim. This new mod is called Better Dragon Breath, AoE Ground, and Wall FX. This mod makes it so that when a dragon does its signature breath attack, residual fire or frost or whatever the dragon is will be left where it attacked, and it finally won't be decorational. If you or NPC steps into it, you will take residual damage for as long as you are in it, making fighting dragons, in a smaller area at least, that much more dangerous. I have a problem with making dragons extremely strong in my game, but now we're moving on to armor mods, with the first one being the main one you guys always ask me about when you see it in my video. This armor is called Yaldabaoth Armor by Chakra SSE. It comes with 5 pieces of armor, including the red cloak on the character, which you can actually mix up and grab the green variant in the optional files, but I prefer the red. But this armor also comes with the giant greatsword that you're seeing, and you guys always seem to love that. At base, this armor doesn't have HDT support, but there is a patch made by someone else for that, which means that the cloth will not move unless you download that mod as well. It also does work for female characters, and the stats of the armor are based around Ebony vanilla stats. It's pretty much 1-to-1. But now for a mod not many know about. This armor mod is called Dark Knight Heavy Padded Armor Set. By the name, it is instantly just reminding me of Batman, but this amazing armor by Guild features HDT support upon downloading, as well as multiple weapons for you to wield in combat. There's a sword, of course, that is pretty long if I do say so myself, but there is also fun weapons that you won't really find anywhere else included with this mod pack. It does use greatsword animations if you don't have anything for new added weapon types. Aside from the main armor and weapons, there's also a secondary armor that has silver color. The armor is still mainly black for the underparts, but the armor parts are now silver rather than completely black. When I first reviewed this armor, it did have a few issues, but now this armor is nearly flawless. I say nearly because it is still Skyrim, but this is as close as it's going to get. You can also get this fairly early into your game. It only requires the steel smithing perk. And while it only requires the steel smithing perk, its stats are stronger than steel armor, so it should last you quite a while. For the last armor mod, one for guards, and no, not my mod because that hasn't been ported, but this mod is called Lollygaggin. Apparently the author never really thought this mod would get much love or any attention, but it definitely did. This mod replaces all guard armors with that of Nordwar guard armors and Sons of Skyrim, but it keeps the helmet vanilla, and this does also work with open-faced helmets if you happen to be using that. But for now, they have no heads because I don't use that. Well, I mean, they might have a head, but I have no idea how Bethesda set that up. All of the textures are provided in the mod, so you don't have to go out your way to grab anything extra, because Nordwar ad sets are pretty open permission as long as you credit. I believe the reason this got so popular is the fact that people still love Skyrim. Even though you see so many 5,000 mods added to their mod list, people still love it for what it is, and those helmets are iconic. So to give them new armors while keeping the helmet is what made this so amazing in many people's eyes. Unfortunately, it will conflict with anything replacing the vanilla helmet for guards, so it's better to remove that mod and just let this mod's magic go to work. And finally, mods for the environment, and starting off massive. This giant floating island that you see is called Yggdrasil World Tree Redux. This mod, if you just click through everything without reading the optionals, will add 2 massive trees to your game. One will be floating above Lake Elanolta, And to get to it, there's a portal placed underneath it that is quite easy to find because it's pretty open. If you use his other mod, which is called Girth, don't know why, it uses those tree models, which is what I'm using and which is why mine's is green. But at base, this mod will have a yellowish green type of texture for the leaves, just to make it stand out from the other trees in vanilla Skyrim. And there's also no quest tied to these trees. It is completely and only for cosmetic reasons. But that doesn't mean that this mod isn't an absolute must-have for people wanting to transform their Skyrim. And if we're doing it one mod at a time, I recommend this mod mainly because it has low conflicts with things because it's literally floating in the sky for the most part. Up next, my new favorite small mod, we have the mod made by Skyking called Skyking Signs. This mod takes every single sign in Skyrim and gives each one unique textures and images placed on the sign to match the name of the shop. With this mod, you may for once want to actually look at the signs of shops because in vanilla, they are quite forgettable. And while I do love 3D signs made by someone else, they don't really stand out much with that mod when compared to the beautiful artwork applied to the signs with this mod. And as a little bonus, if you use Skyking unique signs, it is made for mod added buildings, so they also get overhauled by this mod. But it is absolutely not needed to use this. And finally, we have this wonderful mod, which is called Ancient Land. Taking Skyrim's lore and placing it all over Skyrim just to increase the lore and also your immersion. By adding destroyed ruins to empty locations around Skyrim, but not just destroyed ruins, also elf ruins that you really don't see too much in Skyrim, and also Nordic archways for you to walk through. And walking through it does make for a pretty cinematic shot, if you aren't getting attacked by the 100 wolves that Skyrim spawns every 5 minutes. The only downside to this mod is because of the ruins it places around Skyrim are so large and uses whatever texture you have, your textures may stretch and become blurry if you don't accommodate for the size of it. So for this mod alone, it's one of the times where I recommend a 4K texture Nordic ruin mod. Otherwise, 2K is perfectly fine. And that was pretty much it for today, guys. Let me know what you thought about this video and what mods you recommend for others during their console modding. Down in the description at least, but I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.